Hello, this video is going to show you how to set up your Blackboard Collaborate Scheduler account, and it will also walk you through the steps for setting up sessions for your students to join you in your virtual sessions. So to start off with, you are going to receive an email from me that includes a link to this document that is a step-by-step directions document for setting up your sessions. And at the top of the document, there's going to be a link here that takes you to the Scheduler account login page. So you're going to want to click on this link, and when you click on this link, it is going to take you to the Blackboard Collaborate login page. You are going to use your Fairfax County Public Schools email address as your username, and you're going to then click on Forgot Password. When you click on Forgot Password, that's going to generate the system to send you an email with directions for setting up your account to include your password. I suggest using the same password that you use for your email, same password that you use for all of your Fairfax County Public Schools login information. And that's just so that you don't have another email or password to try to remember. Once you're all set up and you're logged in, you will be taken to the sandbox, so to speak, for creating your sessions. Now, don't mind my sandbox. I've got a lot of sessions here that I've created over the past couple of weeks. Yours will be completely empty, okay, until you start creating your sessions. So now we're going to walk you through creating your sessions. Okay, so you're going to click on your Create Session button, and a lot of this is going to look just like the way it looked within Blackboard 24/7 Learning. You are going to name your session. I like to have a naming convention so that it keeps everything over in your sandbox kind of conformed and the same. So I'm going to say FBS Upper, and we're just going to name this demonstration course. And you will notice as soon as I give it a name, it starts to generate your course, your session, okay? Now we're going to immediately come down to this guest access, and we are going to remove that. We are no longer allowed to have guest access anymore. So we are going to remove that, which means that students have to have, or anybody that, for that matter, that is attending your session has to have an invitation to join that is attached to their username, okay? So you're going to uncheck that guest access, and then you're going to come on down and you're going to start filling in the information about your actual session. You are going to set up your start date, set up your end date, and whatever else you need to set up in regards to the actual event. So I am going to leave my session open, meaning that there's no end date. And I choose to do that because I don't want to have to input students' email addresses for every single session that I create. So I'm just going to simply leave it as an open session. I will use this one session for my morning meetings. I would use the same session for my language instruction or my math instruction or whatever else you might be using. I would just keep it simple, and so the students just get one email with the same link that they would use whenever they know that it's time for virtual learning. They would just use that exact same link. However, if you would like to repeat the sessions, you can do that as well. And that would, you just click repeat session, and you would set up your times, you would set up the frequency, and you would, select your days down here that you want, just as you did in 24/7, and do your occurrences. I would change your occurrences to 8 here because I think we have 8 more weeks of school left. But for demonstration purposes for today, I'm going to leave this as an open session, okay? Here you can provide a description, so I might want to say Ms. Thompson's classroom, okay? And also I want to go back to early entry. I forgot to touch on this. For early entry, you are going to want to set this. You may not want students to have early entry. It doesn't matter what you choose. Now that you are a scheduler, it doesn't matter what you choose, you as the scheduler and as the moderator, you can enter your sessions early. You can enter before the start date. Back in 24/7, you weren't able to do that. But here, using the scheduler account, you are able to enter your sessions early, regardless of what you choose here. So if you choose no early entry, you as the moderator are still able to enter the session ahead of time to upload your documents and get everything set for when your students join you. Okay? So coming on down, we're going to go to invitations. This is the piece that has changed. I am going to click on the arrow here, and here is where we are going to send personal invitations to our students' fcpsschools.net Gmail accounts. So this is where the magic happens. You are going to send an invitation to every student and or teacher that you need that needs to join your session. So in order to do that, let me go over these icons real quick for you. This option is used once you've invited all your students. If for some reason you need to send everybody a new email with the links, their personal links to the session, you could simply click here and it would generate an email that would be sent out to everybody that's within your session. Okay? And this is the plus sign. This is where you go into add your invitations, or just your invites, I'm sorry. And then here is your magnifying glass. Once you type your students' names in once, their email addresses, you could always go back in and just search for them, so it makes it a little easier in sending the invitations if you choose to do that. That's if you wanted, more than one session or what have you. So I'm going to jump back here to the plus sign to show you how we would go about sending an invitation to your students. Okay? Before I do that, I'm going to jump over and show you a spreadsheet that I'm going to email you as well. This spreadsheet contains, down at the bottom, there is a tab for every single teacher at FBS EDU, and don't forget, you might have to click on the arrows to start seeing everybody, but there is a tab for every single teacher down at the bottom. So you would find your name and you would simply highlight, copy and paste your student's name, okay? And once you highlight it, you would copy it, and then you could come back here and click on your plus sign, and we're going to do our first invitation, and I would paste in my student's name. There are some spaces here, but you can delete some of them. And then you're going to put in their email address. This is the part where the spreadsheet comes in nice, because all you're going to do is simply click, copy that email address, and then you're going to paste it into the email section, and then you assign their role. If they're a student, of course, they're going to stay a participant. But if you were inviting a colleague, you might want to change them to a moderator. And again, don't forget, once you're in the session, once the session started, you can change the roles of your participants as well, okay? So once you do that, you can click and click on Invite Attendee, and the attendee will immediately get an email to this email address containing their specific link for them to join your session, okay? I'm going to click Cancel because I don't want to send that invitation to that student, but if I wanted to send, say for instance, an invitation to myself, I would click here, and I am going to state my name, and I'm going to put my email address in, and if I wanted to make myself a presenter or a moderator, I could do that as well. And then I'm going to click Invite Attendee. That just sent that email to me, but it's going to come to my Fairfax County public email address. So if you're sending invitations to your colleagues, just know it's not going to go to their fcpsschools.net. It's going to go to their fcps.edu account, okay? So that is how you send invitations. So let me go back up, and we're going to go back to this invitation space again. And here's the invitation, the first invitation that I created, which was for myself, obviously. There's an airplane icon next to my name. If I just wanted to resend my invitation to just myself or just one person, you would just click on that airplane and it would send another email to that person, okay? And or to delete a person from your session, you would just simply click on the trash can and they would be removed from your session, okay? So that's pretty much invitations. Now we're going to slide down under invitations and we're going to open up the session settings, okay? So this is very important. As soon as you open up session settings, you immediately want to come down to this area that's already checked of what the participants can do, and you want to set up the sessions so that they do not have access to audio, are not able to share their video, they're not able to post chat messages, and they're not able to draw on the whiteboard. You want to set each session to this, okay? You want to set each session so that children do not have access to this. Now, again, once the session starts, you may go in and you may turn these different options on for students. But when creating the sessions, you want to turn all of these off, okay? After you've turned those off, you can come back to the top. You can choose Allow Recording Downloads. You also want to anonymize the chat. This is a personal choice if you want students to show their profile picture or not. That's up to you. You can check that or leave it off. It's up to you. And again, we've already deselected all of these options here for participants. You want to allow attendees to join the session, and I'll show you where to receive the phone number for attendees to join the session. You would have to send that information to someone who needed to join the session via phone, okay? Also, I strongly suggest that you check these options for chatting. Allow that students can only chat privately with you, the moderator, and moderators will supervise all chats, okay? If for some reason you were holding a session that had more than 250 attendees, you would want to click this button, okay? Otherwise, your session is done. It's all ready to go. So you would click Save. And then your session is going to show up in your sandbox, so to speak. So here it is right here. It's available. It's ready to go, okay? Now, when I click in the session, I can join the session from here. So I'm going to go ahead and join the session because I want to show you where you're going to find your dial-in number. So once you join the session, or in the session, if you click on the three little lines right here and come on down, again, don't forget, here's your start recording, all that stays the same. But you have a feature here that says use your phone for audio. You have to click on it in order to receive the phone number and the PIN. So if you have somebody that needs to join the session by dialing in, you're going to have to send them an email or provide them the information for dialing in. But that's where you find it, okay? So I'm going to close that out and I'm going to jump back out of the session and we are going to go back to the sandbox. So now we're back at my sandbox. This is the course that we created. I want to draw your attention over to these three little dots surrounded by the circle. If you click on there, you can join the session from here. You can edit your settings again. You can view reports. So if there was a report of, information about who joined, all of your attendees, how often somebody popped in the session and popped out of the session, all of that would be in the reports area here. So I'm going to close that out. And we're going to go back to these three little dots again. And then you can, of course, delete your session. Okay? All right, now I'm going to draw your attention over to this black box here where you've got some more options. This is going to say your name because it's going to be your session. You are now the scheduler, so it's going to have your information here. And then you have your sessions tab, which is basically going to put you at your sandbox where all of your courses are. And then you have your recordings. If you click here, this is going to generate all of your recordings. They will come right here, okay? So as you already know, if you find a recording and one of your recordings and you click on the buttons here, you've got some options. You can watch it now, you can download it, which is important when you're downloading and uploading into your Fairfax County Public Schools YouTube account or your YouTube channel. You can edit the name, you can delete, you can copy the link, and you can add a caption source if necessary. And then, of course, you can log out, which I'm not going to do that, but I'm just going to go back to the sandbox. So again, you're in the sandbox. This is where all of your sessions will be housed. And again, they will only be your sessions. The nice thing about this is you won't see everybody else's sessions like you saw when we were using Blackboard 24/7 a few days ago. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me via email, tmthompson@fcps.edu. And if we need to, we can jump into my virtual office and I can walk you through the steps again. Take care. Have a great day.